Hello everybody, welcome back to City Skylines 2, more specifically Sonder County, even more specifically Oxbow, the town. It's a town that I'm working on that's highly detailed and based on most small town American cities and American suburbs, specifically my town, which I can't say for privacy reasons, but today we're going to be doing something pretty cool, and today we're going to be adding in a bit of culture to the town that I think is really necessary. Now, a lot of builds in City Skylines 2, specifically from content creators, typically they don't add in any sort of like special amenities, special headpiece, special area where you can go and look, where you first alert into the map when you share it, and you're like, whoa, that's pretty freaking cool. So I wanted to add that, and I figured what a better way to do that than a community lake, a park that's centered and built around a lake. So I figured that would be an amazing thing to do this episode, and I'm super duper excited to show it to you guys and also show you guys the process and also talk about a couple of other things about City Skylines 2 that I want to show with you guys. So towards the end of the video, you may notice that I placed down a prism. This is going to be a temporary thing. I asked on Reddit if anybody else is having this issue, which is crime. Now, crime has been rampant through the town of Oxbow for a little while, ever since I started the town, and I originally figured that it might be due to the infinite demand mod. I tweaked it a little bit. I didn't want to disable it because I didn't know what it would do to my save, but it didn't seem to fix anything, so I'm a little bit unsure. But yeah, just let me know if you guys have this issue as well. I'm not too concerned about it, but what I am concerned about is how this lake looks. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about it, but this is me creating the baseline for how I think the lake should look. And right now, looking back at it, do I think I could have done a better job? Maybe, but I figured that I kind of wanted this lake to be designed off of a spearhead. But I wanted my lake to be designed off of a spearhead since I thought it looked cool, and I think that it looks pretty freaking awesome. I urbanized that street right there. That became my secondary arterial, where I then created a little area. So I wanted two main parks. One park, or rather trail, was going to go along and around the lake with a couple designs, and then 3 gazebo spots on every single main point of the lake. The points where I think where it would be the shallowest and would be the easiest to get to, and already has a natural island to it. And then the second park is going to be a playground right on the left-hand side. I spent a lot of time actually creating this, and I even added a little bit of an office building. It was nothing special. It's not like an important office building, but it's just kind of like a little piece, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it's a park management center. I know they have like a park maintenance depot, but that's not what I wanted to do since I didn't have an industrial area yet, which is coming soon, so make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Also, speaking of which, the subscribe thing actually lights up. I did not, so this is a little bit of a sidetrack thing. So I discovered recently that when you say, or when a content creator says the word subscribe, my little subscribe button glows and it blinks. So I thought that was really neat, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. I was like, whoa, maybe in the future I'll end up saying subscribe a little bit more, but yeah, so anyways, what I just did was adding in a couple trails, adding in a couple paths, just doing a bunch of things to really make the place look neat and look nice. It's kind of inspired off of the very same trail, or rather, again, park that my town has, which is a pond that just has a couple of trails, and then it has a road right in front of it. And it even has houses right off of the side of the lake. So I thought that, you know, it'd be a nice little addition that I could add in. Adding in some trees, adding in some foliage, looking like it's been here for decades. I have no idea what that truck just did, but it was freaking awesome. I was very astounded. While playing the game, I didn't pause at all, but I noticed the truck doing that, and I was like, I'm gonna mention that in my video. But anyways, this was me just admiring the lake because I actually thought it looked pretty cool, especially during the winter. Another thing that I noticed was these wild bushes. I wanted to have some foliage along the lake. I don't think I did it across the entirety of the lake, mainly because I'm saving it for my stream, so make sure you follow my Twitch as well. Alright, I swear that's the last social media plugin that I'm doing. So anyways, another thing that I did was right along, I'm pretty sure here, yes, there it is, the gazebo 1, 2, and 3 right there. And then I tried to add in some faucets right here. I thought that they spewed water. I thought that would be a really neat detail since my town actually has in its lake like some sort of like water faucet thing that shoots up from the sky. It's like a little fountain in the middle of the river, and lake rather, and it looks pretty cool, but I noticed that the props couldn't do that. even in the update. So I really hope that they fix that and add, because I see the nozzles, I see the water nozzles, so I'm like, it has to be possible, right? But I didn't worry about it too much because I focused more on the gazebos and make sure they looked nice. I added some paths to make it look paved, and I tried to use the line tool to get the benches correct, but I was like, you know what, why don't I just stop being lazy and I just place them manually? So that's exactly what I did right here. I placed some benches just along the edges, so like if you're walking, it's a hot summer day, you know, you haven't had a drink in a minute, you know, you could go ahead and sit down for a few minutes before continuing your little adventure, or you could even cut across the grass. And now my original plan was I was gonna build a playground on that side right around our arterial, but I was like, nah, that doesn't really make any sense. So instead I decided we're gonna create a custom playground. All of this was actually unscripted, and I didn't even think about what I was building while I was building it. So I thought it was pretty neat, just kind of seeing these builds, because I don't even remember what I built since I actually recorded this video a couple days ago. I think about 2 days ago. Pretty sure it was Friday night when I recorded it. It's currently Sunday night at 9:30 at night, which is beautiful. Now, I went around and added in a hangout area and sort of a walking area just along the edges of the lake, so I could actually see people walking along the edge of the lake. And this is a neat detail that I kind of wish that the city's devs would add in the future. Like, if you, like, sort of like, remember the park DLC in the first game? Like, I really hope that they bring that so I could just, you know, add in an area and then use with like a specialty node tool. I could basically just say like, hey, you can walk around this like pretty easily, you know, like all that stuff, all that jazz. I added in some, you know, invisible pedestrian paths so that people could walk through the park. I wanted it to be utilized. I know it won't be, and homeless tents will probably spawn in, which, by the way, the homeless update didn't work for me. I watched a video on City Planner Plays that said that his homeless update didn't work either, and that it also seems to be a case-by-case basis. Yet for me, it doesn't really seem to be working, but maybe it's just because I don't have a high enough population to do that. By the end of the video, I have like about 1,700 people, maybe 1,500. I'm not too entirely sure, but you know, it's just like a little thing. I'm not too worried about it. It doesn't seem to affect me at all since I play with unlimited money, since I'm more about aesthetics rather than functionality. And speaking of aesthetics, I added in this little nice area. I was messing around with the moais, by the way, and I added in this little rock pattern. I thought that this looked really nice. I thought it looked really cool, and I was super duper excited when I finished it because I was like, this looks super duper natural. It looks like it was made hundreds of years ago, and that's exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like, originally it was a small town community park, and I also found out that you could spawn in wildlife, and I was like, well, this map has a severe lack of wildlife, so I decided to go in and just place a couple of those down. Following that, I added in a path that led into my other main arterial, which ended into the center of town, so that if you didn't want to walk throughout the neighborhood, you could just cut right across and end up in the commercial zone, which is definitely a good thing. And then I added in just another nice little neighborhood right here of homes. I wanted them to be a little bit more modern, so I ended up destroying these homes and then replacing them with some more modern-esque homes, like as if they were built, you know, a couple of years ago as sort of like a budget project or something like that. I don't know, like the town had too much money and needed to spend it. And come to think of it, I could have added a cul-de-sac right there and added in some homes. Gosh darn it, man. I should have done that. Well, it's too late now. Maybe if you guys follow my Twitch, you'll see me redesign this and create a cul-de-sac of it. I think that would be really, really nice. But anyways, continuing with the theme of parks and recreation, I added in some nice foliage, nice trees, and some nice paths. So if you want to get your friend's house on the other side of the road, you sure could by taking a little sidewalk right there. So I thought that was really neat. And then I added some grass just along the side where I think that homes will end up. And by then, it actually stopped snowing because it was still fall. So that meant all the snow went away and I could actually see what I was doing instead of being blind. Because when I was working on this video, it was about midnight. So reasonably so, I was tired, and then I was just being blasted in the face with just bright white snow. And you can imagine how that doesn't feel too great for the eyes. I really need to get blue lens glasses, oh my goodness. Around here, I didn't really even try with the electric posts. I don't know, guys, do you guys like the electric posts? Maybe I'll create like some modern area of Oxbow, but honestly, I wanted it to be, again, I want it to be like old small town America, so I didn't want it to be like everything is run underground, everything's fancy, everything's modern. Like those modern houses I just placed, those will probably be like the only modern homes that you're gonna see this, like, in the entire series for Oxbow. And speaking of which, I created, at the beginning of the episode, I created an intersection. I hope, I'm pretty sure, unless if I just spoiled it for myself because I couldn't remember. But this was one of the intersections. I thought that it was neat instead of just connecting it to the road. You know, create like a small slip lane, blah, 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 lane map. Oh, I did not create the intersection. Okay, well now I'm very excited to show you guys this. A rule that I have for a lot of my towns and cities, and City Skylines 2, specifically City Skylines 2, but it kind of is a case-by-case basis here, is that every time I create 3 intersections within a town, I create a new one. So this is where I call you guys in to help me. If you guys want to see your ideas being posted and brought to life, then make sure to leave me a comment down below and join my Discord server, where I'm going to be creating a poll, so then you, the viewer, can go ahead and vote for the town name, the setting, where it should be located in Sonder County, and all sorts of things like that. And I think that would be a really nice way to get my community involved. But back to the intersection. I wanted to be a mix of the first and second intersection that I created in the previous episodes. You guys can watch that right, I don't know, skip to the beginning of the video because I probably didn't bother to put it in at the end. I probably forgot. And then right here, I created just a nice, neat little waterfront neighborhood with some alleyways, you know, nothing too extravagant, nothing too like fancy, just something that's pretty darn basic, you know, and it's just right along the homes. Now this is the second part of the video where I actually decided, you know what, we need to detail some more. That adrenaline rush that I got from creating the first lake, I wanted more of it. So I decided, you know what if we created a ginormous lake that like as a centerpiece of the town of Oxbow, like even more of a centerpiece than the original one. And you can see some of the wildlife running around here, which I thought was a really neat detail, and it just added some life to it, you know? This is a mountainous area. I'm expecting to see deer, I'm expecting to see bears, and I'm expecting to see coyotes everywhere. And so I created the nice little lake area right here, waited for it to fill up, and my goal was to create a stream that would go down and would meet to the river below. And I thought that was going to be so freaking cool, so I decided to add it in. And then I even raised up the lake a little bit, just to sort of give it some mass, give it some volume, you know, give it, and also be able to have enough volume to where it'll push the water downstream. And this is when I created the baseline for the stream. Now, the funny thing is that it actually doesn't go downhill. I noticed it. It doesn't go downhill. It's really weird. I don't know why, but it just doesn't go downhill, even though the hill, like, that the lake resides on is super high up. So I was like, oh, that's a little weird. Maybe it's a little bit of a hallucination? I don't I don't know. And then another thing that I wanted to do was, okay, you're probably gonna ask in the comments down below, Brett, why are you adding in another train track? Well, for aesthetics, of course, and it was also because a lot of old towns, especially towns that are developed after, like, the manifest destiny of America, was typically that they like to be able to have a lot of access. And of course, people didn't have cars back then, so what did they use? They used trains. I wanted the first cargo, or rather, train track that spawned with the map to be like the newer one, built by the state. And this one was built by the country, you know, like it was built by the country hundreds of years ago, and it's abandoned, it's not used at all. And I wanted to create like sort of an abandoned area of town where it has like an abandoned train station, some small industry, but that's for a later episode. And also I kind of want to surprise you guys. So then this stream didn't really look like a stream. I think I just left it. No, I didn't. I remember I did. So what I did was I drained that lake, and then I created another lake on the top, and this kind of makes sense. This is something that I've seen in real life, not like up close and in person, but it is something that is feasible, it is possible. So I created another lake just up the top right here, and it was stunning. It looked great, it looked good, it looked functional, and more importantly, it made the stream not freaking like ginormous. So overall, I'd say it's a win-win, you know? Deleted a lot of the foliage, again, just around the lake, on the lake, in the lake, because something, unlike Cities 1, Cities 2, the trees don't delete when they're hit with water. They don't die and then delete themselves like they did in Cities 1. But I think that that's a feature that'll come with time, and it'll be just like a small bug fix update. I'm not complaining at all. But overall, I kind of want to be like, I think I created a name for this. I have it written down. It's just like I'm calling it the chain link lakes, But if you have a different idea for what these lakes should be called, then by all means, comment down below. Give me your thoughts, give me your ideas, give me your everything. Give me everything. And then this is when I was following the police car around, because this was when I was starting to get a little weirded out by the crime. I wanted to see just how often these police cars were going and responding to a call, and I realized look, watch this. Watch what's gonna happen. He's gonna take the call, right? He stops for a little bit, he turns around, lights come immediately back on, and he's back over to another area, responding to another crime. So I'm thinking, this is definitely a bug, because I don't know what's going on with the police cars, right? I didn't want to know, but I was like, he's going back to the same house. Look, see, he's like going in a loop. So then this is when I increased the budget, right? I increased the budget, I did a bunch of things, I even added in I added in a prison over here, and I was like, well, shoot, man, I should probably add that in, shouldn't I? Yeah, I probably should. And then I let the game run after I built this for like an hour, but I'm gonna try to figure this out in a later episode. But yeah, this prison's temporary, okay, don't worry about it. It's just literally just so then I can like get rid of the freaking criminals. I let the game run for an hour, so I had no idea like what to do, right? But anyways, guys, this was today's episode. Today we did a lot of things you may be a little bit confused about, but don't worry, I have my motives, I have my reasonings behind everything, and those reasonings were my own stupidity. Yes. Today we created a lake, we created even more lakes, and we created even more lakes. I really wanted this to be more of a detailing episode, and also just kind of talk with you guys, you know? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing with school coming back up? I'm going to be a little bit busy because of school, but that's okay. And make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys want to see next in the next episode of Sonder County, specifically Oxbow, even more specifically City Skylines 2. I love all of you guys, even more than I could ever imagine. You guys are my everything. Stay frosty, stay curious. I'll see you all in the next one.